Uncle Clifford Rule 88. Just because a bitch good at keeping the peace don't mean she ain't good at waging war. Let's get into it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot to get your dose of the latest trending topics, news, celebrity gossip, and more. So subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear today. Like the video, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'm Lady T, along with my special guest, my sister, Miss V, here to give you the recap and thoughts of P-Valley Season 2, finale, Mississippi Rule. What's going on, sis?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good after that episode.
All right, you ready to dive into this episode?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. All right, because they had played that Gorilla Zoe on that doggone show last night. So let's go. All right, so let's start with the politics. So on last week, generic Obama and Light Bright got home all hot and excited to find who? Brittany, Andre's wife, sitting there. And she is not happy, to say the least. So Brittany finally discovered who Haley is. Andre points out that she doesn't really have a leg to stand on, giving her own extramarital activities, blowing off a particular someone named Dante. But she's still pretty, which Andre reminds her might not be the real one. He also admitted to her that he is in love with another woman. So sis, what is your thoughts about Andre and Brittany raw conversation in the living room?
Actually, I have a few points on that. First, can I just say the title before we go into Andre and them just really quick that I felt that the title of the show, Mississippi Rule, was just perfect. I think a lot of people thought it was just about Keyshawn, but it pertained to every one of them, like what they're doing in Mississippi, how he's moving back home to Mississippi. So let me just first say that about the title. I thought it was the perfect title. My thoughts on Andre and his wife. I kind of like Brittany. I know a lot of people, when I look at other, podcasts and things and such, people don't like Brittany. But I think she will bring some spice and storyline. Because it seemed like in the conversation that they had, Katori gave us a little insight as far as into their background, as far as how Andre is saying, like when they got together, her family didn't really care for him, I guess maybe because of his status. Seems like her family sounds like they're a little prominent. Is that what you got from that she comes from a prominent family?
She definitely came from Black money.
Yeah, and so it seemed like from the beginning, with their conversation, it seemed like they both kind of married for the wrong reasons. Andre is now, he's looking back at it now that he's with Haley, he's in love with Haley. He just came out and just told Brittany that he's in love with someone else, and she, got upset and was like, "Oh, you trying to divorce me, or you're not trying to divorce me," because she doesn't want a divorce. She's telling Andre, "I'm still in love with you," but he's like, "With who? Which version of Andre? The one you met or the one now?" I like where they're going with their storyline going into season number 3. That can go a number of different ways. He was also telling her in that conversation that, hey, the guy that she got caught cheating with in some episodes prior, she was supposed to originally marry that guy. And so it's no telling how long she was having an extracurricular affair with him.
And I wonder why she didn't marry him. Because I mean,
Right.
they kept in touch. They worked together. So I wonder why it didn't work out.
Right. And apparently he's a doctor too. So they both are doctors. And her family, from what it seems like through the conversation, they love him, the guy that she's supposed to first marry. So it even makes me wonder, why did she choose Andre after all? And one of the things I pointed out with the conversation that I thought was really deep was when Andre told her, he said, "You remember the night that we got married?" He said, "I told you I would kill for you." That's how much he loved her. "I would kill for you." He said, "And I did kill for you." He said, "I killed my past," meaning his father, like his only family. Like he turned away from him. And I thought that part was really deep because a lot of that does happen in reality. I know a lot of men who have, when they have gotten married, they were more about their Wise family, maybe because of how the wife might have felt about the family, or that she was better than the family, and they do away with their own family in a sense, like what Andre did. You may have some women too, but I know, me personally, I know a lot of men that have did the same thing as Andre. So um, I thought that conversation, I like how they allowed a little background in their conversation.
But if you caught what he said, legacy, that's big right there.
Right.
Legacy. You know, when passing on positive and affirming legacy improves the family ties throughout generations, it also is about the richness of an individual's life, including what that person accomplished and the impact he or she had on people and places. Now, when you start passing on that bad legacy, it can lead to a lot of destruction in the family. Now, ultimately, the story of a person's life reflects the individual's legacy.
I also like what he said. He told her, he said, "You so big on masks." He said, "You might as well get ready to put this one on." Because they were about to go out on the porch for the press conference. So he was like, "Go ahead and put that mask on," which I thought was interesting too, as far as, to play the game in front of the people. It was funny to me. Haley just stood there. She didn't even, just excuse herself from the room or anything like that. She stood right there watching. And I thought she was going to tell him about the babies, or either blurt it out to the wife, but they didn't have her do that, which is I'm glad about, because it leaves a little bit more mystery what's going to happen with that going into season 3. So
Yeah, and we'll talk about Yellowbone later on.
okay.
So getting back to these two. So Andre and Brittany, Barack and Michelle, as Corbin calls them, have to play this happy family. When Andre takes to the podium in front of all the gathered supporters and media to give a statement, receive a phone call from Haley to keep your head up, Kane. And the reporter in the background asking, "Have you heard from the mayor elect yet?" So we found out that Patrice Woodbine have won the election.
Threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop because the way they kept setting it up, when you look at the previews,
Yeah,
I kept seeing the pictures, Andre smiling on the podium. They did that really well.
because we
I just
all
knew he had
thought he won. Yeah, and then actually, if you also paid attention, like when the phone rung, you was thinking that the guy, Corbin's brother, was actually on the phone with Andre, and it actually was Haley talking to him.
One thing about P Valley, you have to pay attention to their first few episodes, because if you notice, the race was always between Patrice and the other little redhead brother, the little crazy brother. It was always between them two. He just happened to come in, after the fact, and then jump in the middle of the race. And that kind of threw people off from thinking that which one of the other two, but it was always between what she call herself now, Mayor Bishop.
Yes, Mayor Bishop.
And the other brother. So, but I was really, really surprised. But I'm glad they went in that way, because it's going to be, she's going to take you on a ride as mayor.
Yes, she is. She is definitely going to take us on a ride, and
And
looking forward to it.
and I think they wanted to keep someone in the spirit, the same type of spirit as God Daddy, as Uncle God Daddy, or whatever he used to call him. Because remember, God Daddy was always had something going on, like he'll make you laugh even though he was serious. But and she's kind of on that same level, I guess, in a sense, as Isaiah Washington when he was playing the mayor. And so I could never see the other guy winning and being the mayor of Chuckalisa, the brother. It just didn't seem right. It's more storyline with Patrice as the mayor.
Mayor Bishop will be perfect. She's corrupt. She's money
Yep.
hungry. She's ego hungry. I mean, she'd be perfect in that position. And then if we can get the homegirl that used to work at the paint, the little heavy set girl that used to work for not Uncle Clifford, for Mel, for the
God,
mayor, for God Daddy, that would be perfect. Bring her back on board, and she'll be her ears and eyes to the street, and also Uncle Clifford too.
yes, she would be a good asset for her. But I wonder if they're gonna do that, or since she's already in she's been around Andre, especially during the mayor election and stuff like that. But no, she might end up being, you know why? Because remember, she said that she was fired immediately once he died.
Well, you can always rehire somebody back.
Right. And so they could rehire her back to her position. And that'd be good because she, like you said, she's in with the pink. She knows what's going on around the city and everything like that. She probably would make a good addition to her,
Mm-hmm.
her little cabinet.
Yes, Patrice won the race. Andre doesn't see as too much of a defeat since he announced right next to Brittany in a very cold move since she's forced to stand there and smile through it all that he's moving back to Chucalissa to open up a new law firm. And I'm certain he's going to be booked and very busy with a casino moving in.
Yes, he is.
Anywho, Little Homicide, after staring at all the version of himself reflected back at him in that cracked backstage mirror, which I thought was really deep, he hits the stage and told DJ Never Scared to kill the music before performing the first verse of his song 7 Pounds of Pressure a cappella, directing all his attention to a man who's front and center of the crowd. Then Murder nodded to DJ Never Scared to cue that music, and guess who came out? Miss Mercedes, and they both put on a performance. So, sis, what you thought about that scene?
I loved it. I loved everything about that scene, especially when he was about to go on the stage. Number one, let me just say, I was so glad to see DJ Never Scared back. He tickles me when he's in the DJ booth. So I was glad to see him because we hadn't seen, him but a time or few during the season. Um, but when Little Murder was standing there, well, actually Big Murder, because if you notice, he changed his name after he did what he did to Pico, and his chain now says Big Murder. So after when he was standing there looking at himself in the mirror, and you see all the different faces, I thought that was a pivotal moment. I believe, me personally, that's when he made the decision to I'm gonna be who I am. Because if you notice, he took out the grill in his mouth that he always wears when he is Little Murder, Little
Mm-hmm.
later, Little Homicide. But and he went out without it. And without it, because like Uncle Clifford said, all this stuff he told him in season one, all this stuff right here, all the chains, the gold teeth, this and the other, that's Little Murder. He went out to me as Lamarcus. When he took that out, I felt that that's what he was going out on, as trying to just be himself, and I loved it. I feel like
Mm-hmm. It was
they,
a raw moment.
yeah, yeah, they killed that performance. But I said,
Yes.
Maine, he really hates Lil Murder big time. He never liked him since season one. It's like it irks him. Something about like Lil Murder so
But you
much.
have to think about they are in gangs.
Yeah, but I think
So
it's something a little extra personal. He just, I don't know. But he was just standing there in the front looking at Lil Murder. And I love the way how he went a cappella to let him know, hey, look, I'm not scared. I thought he was going to tell on himself first and rap about him killing Pico, but he didn't. But he did let him know, hey, look, if you want it, you can come and get it. It only take just a minute. It only take just a minute for me to do what I need to do to you. And he also put them on Front Street as far as like these guys, some of the lyrics were saying about they walk around talking about who they killed. They ain't did nothing. And he was looking dead at me like, you talk your talk, but you're not doing anything. And then I thought the song was, it represented both him and Mercedes, that 7 pounds of pressure. From what she had went through, with her arms in the 7 pounds of pressure, what she did to Haley's ex-husband. So I thought the scene was awesome. She tore the stage up. I
yes,
loved
she did. She really did. She danced
it.
like her last dance, which
Yeah,
literally it was.
that
But
brand is a force. And if some of y'all want to visit her page, I know she did a video where she was saying the last few episodes they danced for 2 days. And she talked about just the things that it did on the body, preparation for the role, for those scenes and things like that. So, we really have to give it up to her. Her and all the dancers for their outstanding work this season, last season. I mean, they really put in a lot. to give you a good entertaining show. And she really did the thing.
She really did. Because
Mm-hmm.
she has a stunt person, but she does a majority of her
Yeah.
stuff.
Did you see when I love the parts when she was on the pole. I mean, it has to take some kind of stamina for your legs to be bent, and she was banging on her chest. And then when she did the move where I thought she was going to fall again, but she didn't fall. They made it seem like the what do you call it? The cinematography made it seem like she was falling again, but she didn't fall. And when she went into that split, baby, I was sitting up in here. I had to go to the side. I was like, hey, I mean, she did that.
Shout outs to Brandy.
Yes.
She's very talented. Because she actually have a dance background.
I didn't know that, not to that extent. I thought she danced, but I didn't know it was to the extent, when I heard about who all she has danced for. One last thing that I would like to say, sis, about that scene with the dance, with Lil Murda doing his last set with Mercedes. I love how they did the full circle moment of how Mercedes finally danced with Lil Murda on one of his tracks. And because you remember in season 1, she wouldn't do it because she called this stuff slaw. And that's the slaw, and they ain't hitting on that. You got to have them 808s. But this time she sure look, and she would tear it up to them 808s on that 7 pounds of pressure. And I love how they brought that back full circle of how she finally, blessed, his track as he wanted her to do in first on the first season. He wanted her to bless the track on the same type of night, murder night. And so I just like how Katori brought that moment back around full circle. I thought that was awesome.
That was awesome. And you have to also think about a lot of rappers actually do that. They give the track to the DJ in the scripper booth and
Right.
see if they dance to it. And if they dance to it, they know it's going to be a hit.
Yeah, and she tore that up.
Yes, she did. So moving on, reality catches up with Little Murder fast when he and Mercedes head backstage and they found Uncle Clifford in tears. But the good news is that Ernestine survived her brush with C-19. Isn't that exciting, sis?
Yes, I already knew she was going to make it. I know a lot of people on there was predicting. A lot of people on the internet kept predicting, "Oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna die. She's gonna die." I knew she wasn't because if you think back to when that first year of COVID-19, a lot of old people got sick, but a lot of them made it. If you think back to it, a lot of elderly people, they actually did make it. And so, and then I think it was episode 8 or 9 when Clifford and Lil Murda was at the breakfast table. And I knew she was gonna make it because Lil Murda had said to her, "Oh, I believe grandmother Ernestine gonna be just fine." And I said, "Oh, she's gonna be fine." I mean, you just kind of like read some things like between the line. I knew she was gonna make it. So, and I'm happy she made it because she brings so much to the show.
She really do. She really is. She funny.
Bring that family element to Clifford, so it doesn't seem like he's alone. Like he has family. So I'm glad they kept her around.
So the next morning during a pillow talk, Little Calculator breaks the bad news that he's headed out on tour today. And Clifford essentially breaks up with him, knowing that he shouldn't be contained to the cage of Chuckalisa, but also on some level, knowing that he'll probably never be the star he could be if the world knew who he actually was.
Kind of see where Clifford is coming from, but I think Uncle Clifford has the tendency also because Uncle Clifford doesn't feel worthy of love. He said that over and over and over again from season 1 to season 2. He seemed like he doesn't seem worthy. And it seems to me like he was starting to push him away, self-sabotage something good. The young man is trying to be with you. Like Lil Murda has said several times over this second season that he's learned from his mistakes. He's even told Clifford, I'm ready to be together. What happened season 1 murder night won't happen again. And but I think Uncle Clifford doesn't want if the world does reject him and he's not able, Lil Murder, to perform music or his career goes a certain way, he doesn't want him to
get mad at him.
Right. And put it on him, like have regrets towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I can see it both ways, so I kind of felt what Uncle Clifford was saying. He just want him to go ahead and fly while you're able to. This is your chance. He's taking off. A lot has changed him, especially with the death of Big T. And being in the closet. He feels some type of way now because he couldn't love Big T in the open. So there's some feelings about that. And I guess, especially when you experience something like that, it's life changing. So he probably feels like, I've been at this since I've been 15, hiding in the closet. You remember he told Wody, like, hey, this has been since I've been 15. So maybe he's just getting to the point to where, especially after the incident with Big T, where I'm tired of hiding from the world of who I am. It is what it is, period.
And how small Chuckalisa is. I'm surprised ain't nobody ain't seen him coming in and out of Uncle Clifford's house. Like, well, what is he in and out that house like that?
But they might think that because he's a performer and they know he's performed at the Pink before, maybe he can be stopping by on business or anything. So
yeah, every night, huh?
Hey, it is what it is.
Every night. Let me go and run home real quick, get a little change of bag, and I'll be right back. So things are looking up for Mercedes, at least, since Farrah is sending her royalty checks for using her likeness in her photography exhibit. She uses them to reopen her gym and adore its walls. And guess who popped up? Bishop. Mayor Bishop.
Did you see the way she walked in?
I know.
I love the little sideways model walk.
And she came in there for business. Okay, business. Whatever. She's a mess.
But I'm gonna tell you, that whole scene, it was a beautiful scene to me. A lot of things that she was talking to Mercedes about, especially when it came to Shell. And she was asking her, why. Well, she had mentioned that Shell had called the prayer line. And Mercedes said, why in the world would she do that? And I like what she said. And it really made me think about some things. She was saying that I think she needed what only God could give was forgiveness. But did you notice when she was talking about Shell, she was giving Mercedes the eye contact, like she talking about herself about forgiveness.
Yep. I caught it.
Mm-hmm. And she was saying about how she ain't perfect by any means, but she does want to change. And I said, well, she's talking about Shell, but you can really feel it through that scene. It was really beautiful to me that she was talking about herself and Mercedes. And I think she was proud of Mercedes in that moment, to see that studio and to see that beautiful picture of Mercedes on that wall. Y'all go check out, what is Brandy? Her last name is Evans, I believe. But if you go check out Brandy's page, her last post is when they did the photo shoot for those pictures. And she said she did every pose. There was no stunt double. That is actually her in each and every picture. And she talks about how strenuous, like she had hurt her back, like, because you had to keep poses for so long and over again. And she had to get massages, and those pictures are beautiful.
Beautiful. Whoever done them, I don't know who did them, but they captured the art of pole dance, and they captured her beautifully.
Right.
Very beautiful. But like I said, with the good news is that, Shell is going to rehab, and Patrice is going to let Terica stay with Mercedes. Yeah. So happy about that. Happy about that. So she gets to be the mom. But I kind of felt it kind of slap in the face that Shell would call, Patrice, like, well, why would you call her instead of Mercedes?
She still got all that mess towards Mercedes, like Mercedes still that 15, 16-year-old girl that was with her husband or whatever. Whatever that is she holding against Mercedes, she still got that in her. And once she found out that Terica's over there, oh, that's a wrap.
Okay.
I think Mercedes is gonna have her hands full with Terica.
Ooh,
She really,
yes. Yes, she is.
and
Well, with
that's
the gym and her little, wow, Terica's supposed to be like 14, 15.
yeah, 14, 15.
Ooh,
Yep.
she got a lot. She got a lot. She got a lot on her plate coming season 3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, girl.
All right, guys, let's talk about Miss Haley. What Clifford called her? Autumn Eve, Summer Eve, September
It,
Eve.
it changes depend on how mad she makes it.
Well, she wasn't having a good episode because the chicken come home to roost. Now, after that whipping diversion in the previous episode, as we see that Corbin's sexual fetish was simply a way for Clifford to make a backroom deal with him and Wayne, the canal is being built from the Mississippi straight to Cal's doorstep, messing up Haley's plan to sell the paint for a cool $5 to $10 million because a casino can now be built without demolishing the paint. As things stand, she's entitled to nothing except the $250,000 that Corbin wrote out to Clifford. Clifford is willing to give her that back, her initial investment repaid, to recoup sole ownership of the paint. And since Haley made a point of putting her personal advancements ahead of the club and her relationships with everyone in it, she has no allies in this fight in her corner. Do you feel sorry for her, sis? Because I
No,
don't.
no, I never felt sorry for her because it's a lot she's still hiding. It's actually a lot she's hiding about. What is her husband name? Montavious that they
Mm-hmm.
killed. Because even when he did the flashback of what he was saying to Mercedes when they was in the room before she killed him, he said a lot of stuff there, like she's
Yes,
now who
he
she thinks she
did.
is. You better
Mm-hmm.
watch her. She'll leave you. So I believe it's more to that Montavious story that needs to come out. So no, I didn't feel sorry for her.
Oh, and remember when you remember when Mercedes was talking about his ghost used to come to her at night
Right.
and used to reveal things to and speak to her about Haley? So he was
Mm-hmm.
warning her during that time. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why she had to kick her behind out the house.
Yeah. Because that's not the full story. And like he was saying, she's gonna leave, and Haley says, "But I came back." But she didn't come back. She came back for her own
Mm-hmm.
selfish agenda. She didn't really come back to save Mercedes. And I just think it's more to that story. So when Clifford did the okey doke on her, him and old Corbin, hey, I wasn't mad at all. And then she just act like she couldn't get it. To Clifford, it was more than
Mm-hmm.
the pink is. He could get $10 million, but like he said, it would meant more to him than $10 million. Like that
The
is
memories, the history, is
right.
all that family.
And then who knows, with the casino coming later on down the line, the pink may even bring him more money than what they were initially trying to bargain for if they were to sell it and build it that way. You don't know what he will make on it later on. It will probably be more worth with that casino coming. They're going to want somewhere to go for some adult entertainment. Las Vegas, they have their adult entertainment places. And so if you want to have a casino there in Chucalissa, he's the only adult entertainment there. So he's going to be
Mm-hmm.
racking in.
And how he have paint part 2 up in the casino? You just never know.
Exactly, exactly. But I was glad it happened to her. And I was glad when Big L and Duffy was standing in the hallway and when she started
No,
screaming
that
about
was
it.
Diamond. That was Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond. That's right. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Diamond. With the chainsaw and I
And the
love how
shovel.
yeah, like to show, hey, we did the work. That's all. What interest are you talking about? We got rid of a man for you. Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Like Uncle Clifford say, get your check and go. And I love they use the same line from season 1 where he told Little Murder, oh, you know where the door is and the window too. And he said the same thing to her. Do you want me to throw you out the door, or I can push you out the window or something? He said.
Yeah,
And
because she's just very selfish and she's looking
yeah,
out for herself. Very selfish,
very,
conniving,
yes.
slick.
And ain't no telling. It's more to that story. Knowing her on Miss Autumn Night, her little sneaky self. But I was
And
just,
that ain't even her name. Me and Haley. What is her name?
I
Because
don't even
Haley is actually her daughter's name.
I don't even know what her real name is. If Lakeisha, I mean, if she say Lakeisha Savage,
No, because that was the ID that she found.
well, we don't know who she is.
Who
Then
we
we
don't know
still
her. We just know, Haley Colton is her. Is actually her daughter.
don't.
Well, hold on, because thinking about it, wasn't Haley Colton on the flyer when Matavius was trying to look for her? But
Yeah, so that may be her name because I think that's the name he used.
well, we'll see, because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
very mysterious. I guess we'll get the
I'm
backstory
just like
eventually
everybody.
with her. And is her baby actually really dead? That's another thing. We'll see when season 3 gets here. Go ahead and talk about Keyshawn. Because, baby, I had to fast forward because that thing was pissing me off.
I know you really. It was hard for you to watch because your disdain for Derek, where you just really had it. So next, I know a lot of people are pissed off with the Keyshawn situation. I know that they wanted Derek dead or for her to get away with the kids. But honestly, sis, I think in real life, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I know someone who was a Keyshawn, and the same exact thing happened. But I just think that in reality, when women are in those situations, a lot of times it doesn't happen right away that they get away. And I believe that everything Katari has been writing has been from a real life perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's doing it with Keyshawn, whether people like it or not. I know Derek get on everybody's nerves. I wanted her to bust him in the head or do something. One of the things I wanted to point out is I don't know if y'all noticed that she had on the little kind of like reddish outfit with the hood over her head, like Little Red Riding Hood. Um, so that's one of the things I wanted to point out since she kept narrating from the point of having the long hair and trying to escape from the beast and all of that. Um, when she goes to the house and her grandmother is telling her, I mean, not her grandmother, excuse me, the stepmother is telling her all the stuff about Derek came and got the kids. I just want to say regarding that stepmother is evil. She knows exactly. She knew that Mississippi probably was going to try to escape. And she called, I believe she purposely called Derek purposely because she knew Derek would come and get those kids. So
Yep.
she knew what she was doing when she called. The scene with Keyshawn, I noticed that over the internet, a lot of people were really upset that she didn't kill Derek or either get the chance to run away with her kids. But sis, I just have to say that in reality, when it comes to domestic violence cases, a lot of times they don't right away get away. One of the comments that I saw online when I was up under another recap, someone posted, "What Derek is doing to Keyshawn is what real victims go through. Glad they didn't just kill him off so easily. They are really educating us on the subject." And the person that wrote that is right about that because I actually had a friend who was a Keyshawn and her children's father. When she would try to break up with him, the whole relationship, he was just abusive, just like Derek, mentally, in any way you can think of. And I remember an instance where they got into a fight. Actually, he picked a fight with her and started a fight, and he was physically choking her, and she defended herself by scratching him and took scissors out on him. And he actually called the police. Now, mind you, he jumped on her in front of the kids, but when the police got there, because they saw the scratches on him, they actually took her away to jail as the aggressor. She was charged, I think it was like aggravated assault, something like that. They charged her with because when they got there, she did have the scissors in her hand, and but she was saying she was defending herself. He was choking her, and she was blacking out. And she also got a charge for cruelty to children because he made, I don't know how he did it. He made the police feel like, he told the police that she started to fight in front of the kids. Come to find out later on, we did find out he actually, because he was a former drug dealer, he was an informant for the police. So a lot of police he actually had relationship with. And that's why a lot of things when she would report, it got swept up under the table. But he sort of pulled lots of derricks on her. And she was charged for that, which it affected her for a long, long time. It's, she couldn't get job with children. Any good job she would try to get, she couldn't get because of that charge. So that situation with Keyshawn, how Derek flipped it, is really, sometimes how those narcissistic, abusive husbands, like how they do, and not just husbands, because you have some women that find themselves, some men find themselves in domestic situations as well, but the person that's doing the abuse, sometimes they can get over like that. But I believe that Keyshawn is going to have her moment, maybe in season 3 or 4. I don't think it's going to be Diamond that kills him or helps her. I really feel like it might be Wody. What do you think, sis?
Yes, it's going to be Wody. He's going to come up in there and rescue her from this mess.
Yeah.
Because, thinking back, Katori did mention, had asked everybody on Twitter, hey, how will you like to see Keyshawn and Wody together? Not together, but more on screen stuff. And a lot of people say yes. So I guess she's probably gonna make that happen.
Yeah, and some other comments that I saw was, kind of disturbing to me, where people were like, "Oh, so now she finally wait to jump on Derek, but why are you doing it in front of the people?" I said, I don't feel like she chose to do it at that moment. I feel like when everything was going on and she's seeing his smirk, she's hearing the lady, and everything is happening at once, she had a snapping point.
Mm-hmm. And
And I
everybody
feel,
have those.
yeah, that's what happened. I don't feel like, oh, she just waited to that moment to jump on him in front of those people. I really feel like she just snapped out, which unfortunately happened to be in front of the Child Protective Services. But I think her story come out when you have others that will come forward too with their testimonies and stuff as far as bruises, and things like that. So, we'll see what happens in season 3. So that was Keyshawn, and then after that, they had the party at the Pink. Mother Ernestine invited everyone she wanted to invite, and it was a nice party. Uncle Clifford was talking with his friends. Pretty Brown Eyes came on while he was sitting there talking with his friends, and when the music started and dropped, and that first line came in, that Pretty Brown Eyes, the camera zoomed in, and it was a little murder. They said, "Who put that? Who put that in the jukebox?" And one of Uncle Clifford's friends said, "Your son. Looks like your son." And when they looked over there, it wasn't her son. It was actually a little murder standing there looking fine in a purple and white tracksuit. And Uncle Clifford heard and ran over there and just, asked him about what he's doing there. And he was saying he wanted to tell Uncle Clifford bye. Grandmother calls him over to dance, and she loved Little Murder, so she's screaming and hollering to everybody about Little Murder, one of the biggest singers out here.
Mm-hmm. She proud of her grandson. Yes.
Yeah, she loved him. She really loved him. And so Mercedes comes over, and she kind of peeps Uncle Clifford and Little Murder giving eyes, and she says to Uncle Clifford, "Is that you?" And she kind of found out about Little Murder on the low, because she didn't know. It was actually Maine that told her when she came home one day, and she had Terica. She was bringing Terica home, and she took Terica to go meet Maine, and Maine was upset with Mercedes about dancing with his enemy on stage, and he feel like, well, I can't fool with you no more. You not pick the side. Woo, woo, woo. And she's telling the man, "Hey, I ain't on no side. My only allegiance is to the Pink. I'm a dancer, period." And he tells her about she need to watch herself around that faggot or something like that. And she gets mad, think he talking about Uncle Clifford. He said, "No, I'm talking about the other one." And she automatically realizes he's talking about Little Murder. She's shocked, but it doesn't bother her like that. And at the party, she was all there for it, you know. At the end of the party, well, while they're talking, Little Murder and Uncle Clifford, Big L is like, "Uncle Clifford, you got to come and see this right here." They're gonna run into the office, and Miss Light Bright, Miss Lakeisha Autumn Night Savage has struck again. She went into the account to take her so-called interest, which she had no business taking, and put the account negative $24,000 in the negative. She actually didn't just take, because it was 25,000 in the bank. She didn't just take that. She done made herself take 40-something thousand dollars, which put them in the whole negative $24,000 that they had made the previous night. And Big L was like, "I told you I should have killed her. You should have let me, go on and take her out." And Uncle Clifford passed out. Now, mind you, when Uncle Clifford saw the negative, he called her. He said, "That guy doing 24 mother effing savage." Got another name. And he falls out on the couch. And Big L tells him, "What you fired me for, those pills are now going to come in handy." And so, in other words, Uncle Clifford is like, just bring the bag, like the whole bag. Like, he don't have any choice at this point. And so the party goes off with everybody's dancing. Little Murder comes up behind Uncle Clifford, puts his arm around his waist, and they start to dance into LTD's "What We Have Is Much More Than What They Can See." That song. And they give each other a kiss, and Big L and half the dancers about ready to throw up, and everybody else is smiling. And it just gives you a glimpse of what they're going to have to deal with in season 3. That was it for pretty much the finale, which I thought was good.
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't disappointed in the season finale.
No, it wasn't like an explosive like what I think a lot of people was looking for.
Yeah, I think people was looking for that.
Right.
Get somebody to die. But we didn't talk about Diamond. We had to talk about
Yeah,
Diamond.
I was just about to say, we forgot about Diamond. Keyshawn calls from jail. Colette calls to his phone, and he realizes she's in jail. She's like, "Can you take care of that for me?" And meaning kill Derek. He's like, of course he loves some Keyshawn, so he start running around getting ready to do it. He ran out to the car. He's in the car getting all his supplies, what he needs, and some people in black come behind him. They start stabbing him or beating him up. Diamond holding his own, but then they jump him and throw him in the back of the trunk and pull their mask down. One of them pulled the mask. They both put their mask down. And one of them is nobody but who? Big Bone. And the other one, he looks like Montavious to me. It's not Montavious, but he looked like he might be a family member or something of Montavious.
Yeah, because some people said the same thing. They thought it was him. Like, no, this man is dead, y'all. Yeah. He's not coming back. At least, in spirit, ghost, or whatever, like they had in the first episode. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a brother or a cousin, close relationship to him. I know they're all in some kind of same group, but I think he might be somebody like a relation to Montavious. But immediately when Diamond is thrown in the trunk, he goes into, because remember, Diamond was in the military and he was trained to kill and probably do certain operations. His mind automatically goes back to when he was in the war. He's tied up, he's captured. His mind goes there into survival mode. I said, baby, when they open that trunk up on season 3,
okay.
Diamond, he's a survivor. If he was in the military and he was trained for that, those boys are bad. He'll be all right. Yeah, he might get some bumps and bruises. Yeah.
And that'll give a time, because in real life, Miracle is expecting a baby, and well, they are expecting a baby together. So that give them a little time to be new parents to the baby and stuff like that. Then we'll see them back. And yeah, he's gonna be back with a vengeance.
And that was pretty much it, other than Haley. They showing Haley get off a bus somewhere. Mm-hmm. A lot of people said they think she was overseas. I saw on the internet.
No, she's either New York, or California. That has Chinatown.
That's why I thought she was, because I saw other
ethnicities.
Right.
Yeah. And then you getting off of a bus like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not overseas.
Yeah. She's in the States and China. She just happened to be in Chinatown.
Rubbing her stomach.
Yeah, so she kept them babies. We'll see what happened next season. Set it up for season 3.
Yeah.
what I predict for season 3, when it comes to Mercedes, she's going to have a wonderful season 3. Like, she'll be blossoming with her new studio. I think she's going to have her hands full with Terica.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She better get
and I'm
that
not,
shotgun ready, because that thing
yeah,
look grown.
I'm not sure about if anything is going to happen between Terica and Maine, because he gave her a suspect look when she was walking away. He asked Mercedes, "Oh, that's your little girl?" And they kind of showed Terica from behind, like her little shape, and he was looking, real suspect. So, I don't know if they're going to try anything in that lane or anything like that, or just kind of just showing how Terica's just fast. So, but she's going to have a hands full with her daughter. That's for sure.
As far as Andre and Brandy,
They're both moving to Chuckalisa because Brandy is not gonna let him come down there. She know, not only does she know Light Bright want him, she know the line of women that was there dropping off that food want him.
isn't that something?
Yes,
And
they
they
like
bold like, well, you
Andre.
know what? Females are bold. I mean,
Yeah,
they in the line ready to be the next.
but hey,
Wow.
I think he's gonna have a successful practice. He may play a pivotal role to some characters that may need some help, including Keyshawn. I don't know if they need,
Yes.
yeah, but old girl may come back into play, Light Bright, with the babies, and he find out about that,
Yeah,
and
because
that
they
might,
have to bring her back somehow.
yeah, and that's going to destroy Brittany because her and Andre lost the baby. So,
And then
uh,
she gonna come back either pregnant or she already had them. I don't know how far they're
right,
gonna go with this here, like a few months or what.
right. So you have, I think that's what's going to happen with them. And then who's next? Mayor Bishop, as she said, call me Mayor Bishop. I think she's going to be, what? I think she's going to be all over the place, Mayor Bishop. And Patrice Woodbine is going to bring the crazy to Be Valley. So yeah, I think she's just going to be all over the place, the mayor, doing her thing as she usually does, going back and forth with Corbin's brother, because he's still going to be on some kind of the head of the council. He's probably going to try to make it hard for her, but
Yeah, because they're gonna go toe to toe against each
oh
other.
yeah, but
Because
she gonna come out swinging.
his mission is to make sure that casino goes through.
Did you see how she ripped his picture off the wall when
I
she was,
know, I
girl, I
know.
hollered. And then who's
Oh, and when
next?
she fell out the chair too. That was
Girl,
fun.
yeah, Murder
And
and Clifford.
okay, yeah, that's the main ones.
I think that they're going to be together, but I think the next couple of seasons is probably going to be a struggle for both of them, as far as when it comes to Little Murder's career. He still has to deal with the Pico aftermath. Of course, Maine wants him, and then
Mm-hmm.
just how everyone, especially where he lives, and out as a new artist, deal with the aftermath of coming out. So,
And not only that, sis. Okay, so let's think back to when T had committed suicide and he stayed at Uncle Clifford's house and he picked up the cell phone to check his messages. And you notice that it says mom on there and somebody named what Shanika or something like that. So I
yeah.
wonder, is that the sister? So hey, we might get introduced to some new people. His mama, his side of the family.
Right, because they haven't really did, like, we know a little bit now about Uncle Clifford's background. We know, through season 1 and 2, we kind of get a background on Mercedes, like what between her and Patrice Woodbine. So we don't need more background on them. But they didn't do Little Murders, and it would be interesting to just see his background in season 3. And I just hope Little Murder be okay. I don't want to see anything bad happen to him because he decided to come out, because people in the world can be cruel,
Yeah, lying.
and I don't want to see that. Even
Yeah,
if,
how will his gang members
right,
see him?
and Woody, and Woody's the killer. So don't know how Woody is gonna feel like, man, we supposed to be getting this money. I told you.
not to come out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm interested. I really that can go many different ways. So I'll be interested to see how they do with season 3 if they get season 3. Starz hasn't
They have not
told me
approved
earlier.
it.
Yeah,
But they may do it tomorrow. They may wind up doing it tomorrow. So I'll make
that's
the
crazy.
announcements, which is
That's
so crazy. So
mm-mm-mm.
that's the whole up, everybody. Because I know it's some on some websites it says it started in August 2023, but again, Stars have not approved the show yet.
And that's the same holdup that 50 Cent was saying. He said, y'all want to make me wait 6 months before y'all put my shows back on the air. He was saying same thing with Force. He said, you know, Tommy's a hit. It brought in the biggest numbers of any show, power show, cable show. And they would not give Force the green light. And then finally they gave it the green light. I think it might have been a little bit towards the end of the season or after the season. But it's crazy. And so I hope they come back because there's a lot more story to tell with P Valley. And I like to see what happens. And next, I think we got to do Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin.
I don't know. That Corbin is he wants to be accepted by his dad's family so bad. And I think that's going to get him nicked in the butt because he's willing to cross other people to help them. And then they still would turn around because they proved that in season 1. They still would turn around and they beat Corbin up, pull guns on him, put him in his face and everything. And he sitting on the porch with his brother, like, all is well. And I'm like, they've treated you like dirt. So it'll be interesting to see with the casino going up to just see how that plays out with Corbin naming the strip in his brother's name or something like that, that the canal that they're naming in the other brother's name or something like that. So we'll see with Corbin. I don't know. They can take Corbin numerous ways. He's still gonna be getting whooped though.
And he will be at the paint.
Yeah.
He's definitely gonna be at the paint.
Getting whooped. Who else? I think that's pretty much everybody. Mississippi.
Well, yeah, but we already know she's gonna be in prison, hemmed up with these charges and stuff. Yeah. So that's pretty much gonna be her season 3.
Yeah, just the aftermath of that.
Yeah, with that. So that's pretty much it. And then the Pink in general, the club in general, how it's gonna move forward, because I think it's definitely gonna make the money, especially with a new casino coming up. And then we have, the newbies roulette and whisper.
Yeah. Ooh, child, that's gonna be something with
it. Really is, because she's trying to be a little pimpette or something. I think
roulette is gonna get some people hurt. Number one, I think she's gonna get hurt. It's either gonna be Toy, one of those girls. If she hooks up with Duffy, I don't know. I don't want to see her. I like Duffy. That's really Gidget's man, and Gidget's still on the show. She just went away. But they can always bring Gidget back.
Yes, they can. And she probably will come back because of Mississippi's in prison, and she's going to try to do what she have to do to get her out of there. Right, that's her girl. Friend. That's her girl. Yeah.
So we got her and little what's his name? Little DJ Never Scared. I wonder how him and Lil Murder's relationship will become, like, as his producer. Like, would he? But he's from a newer generation, so I don't know. He may not feel some type of way. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. We covered everybody for season 3. I just really hope they bring it back. I would like to see the Pink get a makeover. I'd be glad when Uncle Clifford gets some money where he can do.
Well, with them drugs they about to be selling, probably be a whole bunch of it coming.
Ooh, and that's a storyline in itself.
He will get a nice makeover, maybe season 4 or something.
Yeah, I don't want to see nothing happen to Big L. And then I don't want to see anything happen to Uncle Clifford fooling around with the drugs, because, with the drugs, they can seize everything. When they finally seize everything, that could be your property too.
That is true.
Yeah, so we'll see where it's going. But I thought it was a good episode that has a good build up for season 3.
All right, guys, that's it for this P Valley season 2 recap. Thank you, sis, for joining me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I had a good time.
That's good. So let's continue the conversation down below in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode and your season 3 predictions. What would you like to see in season 3? So don't forget before you leave to click the subscribe button and also the like button, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'm Lady T, and of course, that's my sister, Ms. V. Be blessed, have a great, productive week, and bye.
Bye bye.